Mod time is back, and surprisingly for a Monday, we have quite a few mods to take a look at today. All platforms got 17 new and 4 updates, and PC Mac players got 1 new and 2 updates. That's 24 mods on a Monday. All platforms got the John Deere 6R series, Vintage Auger Pack, 60-foot Header Semitrailer, BTZ2 U201-0 Wars, Lizard SV2500, Lizard Safe Barrier, Soybean Oil Factory, Italian Oil Mill, Dairy, Deep-Bedded Cowshed, Small Farm Warehouse, Straw Tarpaulin, Liquid Manure Tank, Small Greenhouse BR, Metal Garage 1020M, Modern House EU, and House with a Leaking Roof. It's your only other new mod today. Is new for PC and Mac players, the versatile new Holland Ford 4-wheel drive tractors and BCB farms, but heads up if you guys are on console, this will be coming to all platforms as well. There's a separate version with Giants right now. If you like staying updated with all the latest new and updated mods of Farming Simulator, make sure you subscribe, check your timestamps to see what you want to see first, and let's go. Starting off, we have another John Deere 6R series. We have quite a few of them at this point. Was that 5, 6, 7? At the very least. Oh, mod up. Goodness. This one has chunky tires and it's got what looks to be stuff all over it. We'll talk about that and I'll describe what I don't think that it is. So we have engines from 280 to 300. Nothing really going on through there. Normal wheel brands, Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, Vredestein, and a Nokian set. We have all the ones in between that you would expect to see, except for those narrows, which are missing in the Trelleborgs. We have the daylight lights. You could either do red, green, blue, or none. Starfire, you've got that up there as well. Nice to see that. Fenders are yes and a no. Front flashers. We actually get some strobe lights in the grill, either 2, 4, or 5 of them. We got a spring holder on the front. Then we have the front loader guard. There we go. And then we have the old front loader guard on there. Carpet on the inside, yes and no with the John Deere logo. Then we have the corn design, which doesn't look like any of the corn or byproducts in the game. And then we've got a front loader attacher for John Deere, Quickie, and Hauer. And then we have colors for all the stuff. We got red there, and you could do whatever color you want for the rims. Now, this was interesting. So what I've done, we've got chaff, we've got corn, and then we've got silage, a byproduct. Ignore that pile, that was a test pile. This looks like alfalfa on here, man, but it is the exact same as the screenshot, so I'm not quite sure what corn is up there, but it's none of the corn that I'm familiar with. They do say that there are a couple functions from IC, including rear window, which could be opened with or without it, and corn could be shown or hidden with the Tarpaulin animation in key. Also, you can open and close the cover there. We'll say the LED lights do look pretty sweet. Yeah, otherwise that's it. It's also important to note that we've got some European stickers up there that, well, I don't think those are going to come off. Next to BC Bueller Farms, we have the return of the Vintage Auger Pack. We have the John Deere 398, and we also have the versatile TD8-54. What a name. Now these bad boys work pretty similar to each other. You will have to jump in it. You will have to start it. This is to kind of simulate moving it around by hand. So there you go. And then we've got a couple animations in here. Of course, we can raise it up and move it around just like so. And then we can kind of raise and drop like so as well. Pretty nice to see. In order to use it, though, you will need to have something with a PTO. And for some reason, I've just lost it. It was working a second ago. Of course. What have I done? What have I done? PC, what did I do? Well, of course, you can take it and drive it around. So there is that, but that's not what I wanted to show you. There we go. Turns out I was a little bit too far away. So now we've got it. And we can turn it on, and we are good. Click the unload here. There it is. All right. We're working. Moving on, moving on. There's also something interesting I found. It does appear to continue to work after the tractor's turned off, but the PTO is still moving. You may actually even see the PTO moving there. And then we get out, and it stops moving. But it's still working. It's magic. If you've ever wanted to move a header with a semi-truck, well, now you can with the 60-foot header semi-trailer. This is from the Roughneck Modding Crew and RDJ Inc. man, oh man. Pretty cool. So we got titch belts, which could be very, very handy. It's a 60-footer, so you're going to be rocking a lot of those big 18 and a half meter headers. Oh yeah, you'll be able to move it just fine. Plus, we have a lot of colors. We do have all the default Volvo colors. However, if you wanted to use it with a Case or John Deere, well, you easily can do that. Now, currently, at least on the Mod Hub, there's only a couple mods that can actually rock this. We have the Macadon FD2 pack and Dibco Trailers pack. This has got a 19 meter header in here. Should work fine. And then we also have the John Deere HD 35, 40, 45, 50, 62. So not 60, but 62 articulated. So we've got a couple mods that can theoretically run with this. Let's see. Let's buy one of those. Now, as you know, carrying around these big old headers is quite difficult. And I think I've made things a little bit more difficult for myself because this one flexes. It ain't even going to go up there, is it? Oh, no, you know what? It is. Not great, but it is. You know what, John Deere header? You just lost the privilege. All the time we worry so much about having these flexible headers, then the one time we need one, or don't need one, it's a bit of an issue. So there we go. All right, so we've dropped our header on there. Looking good. I think I've kind of got it up on there all right. Hopefully. And then our straps. Now, I have found out that the straps are just on the front. So that is the main thing. I'm not quite sure how this hooks up or anything like that. But if I drive around like an idiot, I guess we'll find out what happens. Regardless, I will say this, it does look pretty cool. Now, for this header, obviously it has a built-in header trailer. However, this is going to come in handy for years to come, especially when we've got absolutely massive things. And even if you're doing an American playthrough, whether that be North or South American, you're gonna need some big equipment, and something like this, not too shabby. Hey, and it's staying on there pretty good too. 2 thumbs up. Let's go. Now, next we have a disc arrow for you. This is the BTZ2U201-0 Wars for some reason. 2 meter working with an 8 miles an hour, 25 horsepower required. I think that's about all you need to know. But if you want to know some more, well, we've got rotation of the front and the rear disc. So we could change it up, manufacture. We could change that up a few different ones as well. Nice. Handles are yes or no. Front plate smooth or serrated. Same thing for the back. Front coulters yes or no. And same thing for the back there as well. Then we've got a place for the position on the very front, with the pin, and then colors. For the frame, we've also got the discs. Here's an interesting one, the Lizard SV2500. You know what this is? It is a tedder. What? Hey, I'm down for it though. 2.8 meter working with at 9 miles an hour. It's a small one, but if you've got a grass swath or something like that, I think this would be a really good one to utilize. Plus, it kind of swaths everything back nice and neat in the back. So that's pretty cool. You can either open it up or make it narrow like it is right here. That's going to be super, super useful. Now, another thing you could do with this is you can use it on straw for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what's pictured in the screenshots that we've got. Nonetheless, you got all kinds of colors. We'll just throw a Matsy purple on there. Yeah, that's about it. Now we get into some placeables, and weirdly enough, our first placeable is it's in the Mod Hub. We have fences, the Lizard Safe Barrier. So we've got all kinds of stuff. Yes, it does say Lizard Rental down there. That is the brand. If you've ever driven through Florida, you may know Bob's Rentals. Well, there you go. Something like that. All kinds in here. As a matter of fact, quite a few different things. I like those. Now, one neat thing is we've got a barrier hook to move them. But if you don't want to use that, well, you can use pretty much anything else. They recommend either using like telehandler or a forklift, something like that. You can pick the stuff up with. Otherwise, use a hook and hook it to this, and then hook this to your barriers. The barriers do weigh 450 kg, so you will not be picking them up by hand. Now, it's been a little while since we looked at placeables in the game. I've been skipping these for the past week or so. Just kind of been the same thing over and over again, but I thought this one was interesting. The Soybean Oil Factory. Pretty neat. So what do we got? Well, we've got soybeans and water in, and then we get a custom soybean oil out. 10 soybean and 5 water equals 13 soybean oil. Water's free, so any extra boost is good enough for me. Not too shabby. Then sell it wherever you need to. Next on the list, the Italian oil mill. Very, very interesting here as well. So this one has got an inside to it. Oil mill, everything's pretty standard here. Canola, long grain rice, olives, regular rice, and sunflowers equals your respective oils. However, we've got the interior bits and bobs. We have doors which could be open outside or inside, doesn't matter. And then we've got kind of a drop-off point and a pickup point for pallets. It's kind of a small little setup right here. And if you guys wanted to put something inside of a building that maybe you didn't want to use another mod, because currently nothing in the base game allows you to put things inside of buildings like this, well, there you go. We also have a storage area in the back, but I don't think you're going to be using that for anything. Oh, yeah, and there's solar panels on the roof, too. Ta-da! Did somebody say dairy? Dairy! Yeah, somebody in the house is yelling dairy. This is a dairy. No interior for this one, unfortunately, but... well, here you go. Pretty small inputs, 5,000 for buffalo and goat milk, 50,000 for regular milk, and 15,000 for sugar. And then everything else, kind of your normal dairy stuff. But still kind of interesting, kind of neat. Looks pretty cool. It's a little different, so I wanted to show it off. Next one on our list, the deep-bedded cowshed. Doesn't hold as much bedding as you would think, though. 40,000 liters, that is about it. And kind of which sees what you get. If you're not careful, you'll get locked in here. Can we actually open this? No, we can. We just have to jump over it. There you go. Alrighty. Let's see how many more of these we can open up. There's one. There's one. We're doing good. We're doing good. Boo. Can I not even open up that little one? All right, whatever. 100 cows. We've got 65,000 liters of food, 40,000 liters of straw running around it. Not much else. It's about an object storage. Here you go. The small farm warehouse can be found in silos and holds 250 things. Whenever you put it in, kind of makes it disappear. You can back it up whenever you need to. Kind of small, kind of nice. We also got the straw tarpaulin. This one kind of freaks with you a little bit because it doesn't quite know what to do with the ground, which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess it just is what it is. Let's see if we can dig down a little bit and maybe make a little bit of sense. Here we go. Take that, and then we'll just flatten it out. So is this fixing the issue? Yes. Yes, it is. By quite a bit, actually. What happens if we put this thing down without doing anything? I hate that I haven't even talked about the specs yet, but it's tweaking out, bro. Let's see. Toggle free mode off. Nope. Still tweaked a little bit. Yep. Well, that sucks. It's kind of the same as the other thing, but it holds 500 bales. Next on our list, we have the liquid manure tank. This was pretty cool because you drive over it. I think that's kind of neat. You do want to make sure that you place this down with free build turned off. That way it kind of puts everything down under the ground. If you want to see that, here we are. There you go. And you kind of see it underground. I'm using one of the camera mods to show you guys that. So we got that 1 million liters capacity there, or you could go with the 6-inch right here. Also 1 million liter capacity. This, however, does not have anything underground. That one is just purely magic. This is going to be found in silos and in silo extensions. If you're into greenhouses, we have the small greenhouse BR. This one's Liu Schmoga. We'll come in here, take a look. 10,000 liters water in, and then you got 7,000 for all of your crops: chili peppers, garlic, lettuce, spring onions, strawberries, and tomatoes. And we can find a place for the water around towards the back right there. Pallets go on the side. And we got a garage, the metal garage, 10 by 20 meters. There we go. Does sound, or seem like the sound and the animation start at different times. So be ready for that. Around towards the inside. Oh, you know what? No, it does, technically. But take a look at this. Look at this door. Boom. So the sound is going with that. And then we have 2 of those, actually. I think the animation's cool. I like that. Just the sound doesn't line up. That is the only thing. Now, you can see I've got 2 of these put down because this one is a little bit different. I made this one run, and we have a wall. So this one actually has a wall running along the bottom of it. This would be great, especially if you're trying to put down crops or something like that. This one's more for machinery, tools, that kind of thing. This one's more for putting things on the ground that you don't want getting out. We almost made it to the end without a useless placeable. Here's the Modern House CU from Coxon. 45 grand, 2 triggers. And that is all you got. And our last new one for all platforms is called House with Leaking Roof. It's got a leaking roof whenever it rains, and it's got no interior. And it's also got nowhere to change clothes. I've just realized that. There's no wardrobe trigger. Cool. There is a place to sleep outside, but if it's raining, good luck. You're going to get wet. Now we got some updates to talk about for all platforms. The first one's one I can't pronounce, so we'll ask AI to do it for us.
Przybiernowko.
There you go. This will be version 101. They've added a vineyard, added an apple orchard, added grape and apple processing facilities. The farm now has a second section opposite featuring a root crop storage area, hay and straw storage area, and a composter for producing your own compost as fertilizer. We also have field 2, which has been divided into 2 new, slightly smaller fields for growing vegetables and root crops. The map snow mask has been slightly adjusted. They've added bees to the apple orchard. Clover and alfalfa can now be stored in the farm's drive-through silo and at the biogas plant. They've added 2 rice fields for rice enthusiasts. Is anyone a rice enthusiast? They also have the map, which now features 256 ground ankles for more realistic plowing texture, and a fix for clover, which can now be turned into clover hay without simply disappearing. Next is the Valmet 1102, 1103, version 1001. Fix the side window handle and throttle linkage animations, and fix the wrong collision preset on the front weight collision. Fortuna FTM Pack 1001, cargo camera fixed. And we have the Farm Pack Tirschner, version 1001. Fixed, doors could be driven through, and fixed, not all doors could be opened. Oh, that's bad. Now let's talk new ones for PC and Mac players. Should have said just new one. There's only one mod today, the versatile New Holland Ford 4-wheel drive tractors. There's actually the versatile New Holland 4-wheel drive tractors that are currently with Giants awaiting testing, or maybe in testing at this point, for console players. So if you are on console, Xbox, or PlayStation, or just like crossplay mods, don't worry, there's one coming for you guys as well. You may remember this is the one that I did a preview on a couple weeks ago, so let's take a look at it. Of the 2, let's take a look at the New Holland first. This will be the Ford New Holland version, and then we have 300 horsepower, 350, and 400. Then we go over to different engines. We have the New Holland 310, 360, 425, and then we have a different New Holland setup. Similar options here, and then we have a tuned version for 500 horsepower. Wheel brands include Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, Vredestein, Lizard, and Trelleborg. Yes, Trelleborg twice. One of them is a, I don't know if it's US spec or what, but it's big twin wheels. It looks great. And then the other one, the default one, is the normal Trelleborg wheels that you guys are used to seeing. Everything else looks great as well. It is interesting with the Lizard here. I'm guessing that this was because they wanted them to be for all platforms. However, this version did not make it to all platforms, so might see them change up to Firestone and Goodyear in the future, but I doubt it. Maybe, but I doubt it. Radio on the inside, you got that. Lighting, we got LED or standard. That's pretty cool. I like that big LED bar in the front. That's awesome. GPS on the top, mirrors added off to the sides, and then we also have hazard lights, which could be added there, and then windows, standard or tinted. The tint isn't too bad either, which is always nice. Front weights, we have 0 kgs up to 1,234 with some increments in the middle, and then attachers. Let's flip this back around as well. So this is not only the attachers, but also the weight. So we get a little bit of weight for mid-weight. We got both weights, so the back and the middle, and then we can do just the rear weight, and then we can also have a PTO in the back. And then lastly, the 3-point quick hitch. Always good to have one of those sitting around. Taking a look at the Versatile, it's pretty much the same thing. We have all the same engine options. We have all the same wheel brands, all the same customization options, but we do have a year model. So this one's interesting. It changes the Versatile from blue over to red, but it comes red by default. But like I said, everything else is standard. Now, one of the neat things on the inside is we can actually change up the dials on there. So you might be able to see on the right hand side, just to the right of the steering wheel at the top of it, there's a dial there. And I'm actually turning that with the joystick on my controller, and it actually changes up from the time. We've got our fuel there, our miles per gallon. We also have how fast we're going, is speed, and then we have engine hours. So we have all of that information right there for you guys. Pretty cool. It is an awesome tractor, and I'm really excited for this to be released on consoles hopefully sooner rather than later. Let's end it out with a couple updates for PC and Mac players today. First was PowerTools mod that I use every single day. It's a version 1.12 hotfix. Filling vehicles should no longer generate a fill type unknown error, and hotfix disables old and depreciated console command QQ. Lastly, the Agromanut tool pack version 1.001 texture correction, minor 3D correction, and PB4D update. And that is it for this one. Hope you enjoyed. Drop a like if you did. Get subscribed if you new. Enjoyed to DjGoHam bam. Double check those notifications that way you never miss videos like this one. Hope you have an awesome day. Enjoy the mods. We'll see you in the next one.